This video is brought to you by Roguedeckbuilder.com. Purchase a playmat today and help us make the move to our new studio. We have over 10 playmats to choose from. Visit Roguedeckbuilder.com. Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com here with a Khans of Tarkir draft. This is the very first one that I was able to queue up in. It's right in the release time, so let's get this underway. Our rare is Dragon, Throne of Tarkir. Equipped creature as defender and other creatures can go +X/+X and trample. We're X creature's power. I don't think this is first pickable. In fact, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, you can actually get off some pretty cool combos with it. I'm sure if you get like here, this take up arms. So speaking of take up arms, I do want to try to go the warrior strategy. There's two strategies I've gone in Khans of Tarkir. One is the 5-color ramp. So it's a go gate crash strategy where you take every of the banners possible and then just take big stuff. We also have Kill Shot. I think Kill Shot actually destroy an attacking creature might be the best card in here. It's again between take up arms and Kill Shot. I'm going to go ahead and take the Kill Shot. Abzan Charm is actually very powerful as well, but I don't want to be 100% going into those colors quite yet. All right, so Temur Ascendancy, there's not many Ascendancies better than this one. Creature have haste whenever your creature power 4 or greater enters the battlefield, draw a card. This card is absolutely nutty in the format, as I will try to go a ramp type strategy, but we have a suspension field as well, so we could have this nice little white deck right off the bat if we can just turn our eyes away from Temur Ascendancy. But I'm telling you, this card is so good in the format. Like, look at all these things that can actually trigger this off, and then you can just go crazy with it. Again, you'd have to go the banner strategy. I really want to go it, but there's some really great white cards. The Mardu Horde Chief is great. It puts a 1/1 white spirit warrior token, and it's a 2/3. You can go the warrior strategy. There's a throttle in here. There's a suspension field. You know what? I think I'm going to take the suspension field over the Temur Ascendancy and try to go this kind of... Well, maybe not. There's a lot of good white cards in here. I'm going to take the Temur Ascendancy. All right, so foil. Oh, this isn't foil. It's just a mind swipe, counter target spell, and that does X damage to players. Not too shabby of a card. It's pretty good, but I think at this point I'm going to start going for the strategy where you go into four colors or 5 colors and just try to grab every imaginable banner. So far, no banners. So we have this Glacial Stalker. It's a 4/5. You know, I love these. These cards may seem pretty weak, but 6 mana for a 4/5 in this format isn't too shabby. I don't know if I can pick it over a Mind Swipe. Mind Swipe's not too bad either in this format, especially if we can get some banners. We have a 0/5 can block everything. Alpine Grizzly actually works with Temur Ascendancy, but it dies to every morph card. And I don't know if we can... Of course, this is probably going to be the card that comes back. The Highland Game's actually good to stabilize, but I'm going to take the Mind Swipe, and we're going to try to, again, take every banner imaginable. Now I'm kind of kicking myself. I could have had a great white deck going here with another... This Timely Horde Mate's really good, a 3/2 raid. A Rush of Battle is pretty good. Gets all your warrior creatures get +2/+1, and Warriors gain lifelink. Again, with the token strategy would have been good. Martyr Skull Hunter's good. A Force Away is pretty sweet though, very sweet. It's return target creature to their owner's hand, and if you're 4 grid, you draw a card. This is a very underrated card, and it's gonna go perfect into our strategy. The Set Adrift is actually very good as well, but it is sorcery speed. That's the only drawback I have with the Set Adrift, is a lot of times you want this instant speed. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Force Away. And again, we're going to look for banners, and hopefully I can get some banners. So now we have Return 2. We have a Ferocious. If you control a creature power 4 or greater, you can cast this as Flash. First Strike, not that great. Swift Kick is okay. +1/+0 and fights another creature. But for 4 mana, that's a bit... high casting cost for removal. We have a 3 mana Perez guy. This guy is Jeskai Wind Scout, is absolutely amazing, especially if you get cards like Awaken the Bear on the Jeskai Wind Scout. This card was probably my MVP in the pre-release, and I'm going to go ahead and take it. We do need some earlier drops, and this one is one of the better ones. So we can start taking like the Skaldkin's pretty good, and unfortunately, we're not getting what I want with the Temur Ascendancy. Our opponents must be picking those cards. We've given our opponents to the left of us some pretty good white cards. And now I'm wishing I would have taken this kill shot and would have taken something bigger, but maybe at this point, an Outlast Death Touch guy, 4 mana. This card's pretty nutty, good, because it gives all of your +1/+1 counters Death Touch. The Molten Snakeskin's actually a lot underrated, as Regenerate in this format is huge. But again, I kind of want to stay within at least a 4 color. I guess we're gonna go. I'm gonna take the Ek Nightblade. I think it's the most powerful card. We have another Pro S card. I actually really like this card, but we have double banners in here. And again, banner strategy is so good in this format. And I'm gonna go ahead and take. I wish these were in different packs, but the Tamir banner is exactly what we need. And hopefully we get more of these down the road. A flying is really good, and it's so perfect because the banners can help you ramp into this, and by that time, you start to be. You outclass all the guys that went the kind of warrior outlast type strategy with just bigger creatures. So I'm going to take the Timur banner. I hate to let this force away go away, but banners is absolutely what we need. So here we have a Warden of the Wandering Eye. He's not bad at all. Enters the battlefield, return to our non-creature, non-land card from your grave in your hand. It can actually grab you back a force away, but it is not 4 or greater. It might be the best card here that we can take. I don't like a first strike. The tap of creature 0/7 walls, actually not too bad. It can block everything in the game. But we might need some Highland games. We've seen a bunch of these actually pass. This could be our 3rd or 4th one, I believe. We could take the land to help fix, but I think the Highland game, against the aggro strategies, we bring these in, and it helps us stabilize. So, Woolly Loxodon, so good. Let me say that again. This card is amazing. We also have the Barrage of Boulders. Let's see. 1 damage to each creature you don't control. It can take care of any sort of early 1 toughness strategy. If you control a creature 4 or greater, creatures can't block this turn. I don't think it's quite pickable over some of these other cards like Thornwood Falls, but Woolly Loxodon is actually great. 6/7, not many things can actually deal with it, and if we're going the banner strategies, these are great. So at this point, we could take a Krumer Bondkin, but a lot of things actually kill it. The Singing Bellstrike is very powerful for early removal. Blossoming Sands, I don't know if we'll be going into white quite yet, so I'm going to take the Singing Bellstrike. Now we have a Glacial Stalker. That came all the way back. We can actually take it, but it's more weak. It's weaker for the 6-drops. A lot of the green 6-drops are going to be 6/5s, not 4/5s. And I think Highland Game, again, is what stabilizes us against early. And again, we can actually just take a Wetlands Sandbar, as, again, we can bring it in. And if we have to go into like an aggressive strategy, we can definitely do so. Now we have 3/2/1s. We have 4/2/1s now with the Wetland Sandbars and the Highland Games. So I don't know about this Kill Shot and the Elk Blade or Nightblade, but so far all of these are quite playable. I do like the Mind Swipe. Just with banners, it gets so much better. And even like cancels aren't bad against certain strategies. But we have this nice little tempo strategy going with Force Aways. But we do need to find more stuff with Tamir Ascendancies. I'm okay with playing mainboarding the Wetlands Sandbars as well, as they're quite aggressive, and you can dish out a lot of damage. Again, it's going to stabilize you against everything you need it to stabilize. Of course, the Highland Game is just much better. So I have to take a Wooded Foothills for the money card, plus it actually helps us. But if this were a more serious draft, I might actually take... actually this is pretty weak of a pack. You have Smite the Monstrous, which is very good against our deck. I have another Prowess card. We have a Crippling Chill, which is very good. You tap a creature and draw a card. So you can see between like Force Aways and Crippling Chills, you can go a very, very good tempo deck. Frontier Buviok is pretty good as well. But this is a weak pack. This is a very weak pack as far as first pickable, so we'll take the Wooded Foothills. And we'll use it as a good thing, so it's not a dead rare. I absolutely love Blue Tempo, though. Blue-Green Tempo or Blue-Green-Red Tempo or even Blue-Green-White Tempo is pretty nuts in this, because you get the protection from a color, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature card, which is very, very good in this format. All right, so Ash Cloud Phoenix is actually incredibly powerful. And it is a 4 damage or power, so it actually works with our Tamir Ascendancy, which at this point I don't know if Tamir Ascendancy will quite make the cut unless we can get a lot more of these. I'm sure this Woolly Loxodon will come back to us, so we don't need to take that. Or like a Swiftwater Cliffs will come back. Ice Feather Aven is very powerful as well. You can morph it flying 2/2 for 2 mana. I might actually take the Ice Feather Aven, but this card's is seeing a lot of standard play. It works very well in our deck. I think I'll just go ahead and take this. The Ice Feather is powerful though, so again, I'm not quite sure which one is more powerful in the strategy we're trying to go. If we take the Ice Feather Aven, we have a very aggressive deck with 2 drops. We have Highlands, we have the Highland and Wetland, 2/1s for 2 mana. We have an Aven, which is a 2/2 flyer. Oh man, it's difficult to take this Ash Claw, but I believe it's barely better. Very, very comparable though. Another Dragon Throne, don't want it. Summit Prowler we could take if we have to. Ride Down's actually an incredibly powerful card, as you can give your guy trample. We do need to start drawing into like the fixers. Feed the Clan can actually stabilize, but we have another Jeskai Wind Scout, and I'm telling you, this card is nutty good. It is so good. Prowess is very underrated. So Death Frenzy, that's pretty good. We might actually want a Death Frenzy because that doesn't affect us, and if we can go into black, that's not a bad card whatsoever. We have another Jeskai Wind Scout, and I might have to evaluate how we want to do this. Now I'm really wishing we would have taken the Ice Feather, because this will be our 3rd Wind Scout. We might just want to go with blue-green aggro strategy. And Tamir Ascendancy will still make the cut. Absolutely still make the cut. But, yeah, I'll take the Wind Scout. And I'm liking the deck so far. Stubborn Denial is actually pretty good. It actually works very well. But non-creatures, you don't pick this right in limited very highly. Scaldkin actually works very well in what we're trying to do. Here's another Outlast. This one's pretty good with reach. Unfortunately, we don't have ways to put counters so far on our Wind Scouts. I bet this Wetland will come back. Again, we can just go a very, very aggressive strategy. We have a Feat of Resistance. This is the card I'm talking about. This card is so good, especially with Jeskai Wind Scouts. It does put a counter on, but at this point, I don't think we can splash into white. We do have a Kill Shot, but I think Scaldkin is easily the card we want to take here. Another flyer. We have a nice little flyer. So this incremental growth is pretty sweet. Put a +1 counter on target creature, 2 +1 counter on another target, and 3 on another. So we could put on our early flyers. Very, very underrated card. We do have another Mardu banner. Unfortunately, it's in 2 of the cards we don't want. But Mystic of the Hidden Ways is very powerful. We also have a Tusk Colossodon. Here's a 6 mana for a 6/5. At this point, though, like, Fate might just be better for our Jeskai Wind Scout type strategy. Drawing 2 cards, that's an inspiration. And the Hidden Ways, unblockable. This is just a very powerful pack for us. Again, another Death Frenzy we could have taken. But incremental growth just seems better in the type of strategy we're going with, a bunch of evasive type creatures. And hopefully we get another Mystic. But I do think we want... Whoa! Barely picked it. Whew! In time. Become Immense is amazing. Amazing with Jeskai Wind Scouts. This is very, very underrated. +6/6. I only usually like 1 in here, though. So this one, you look at top 5 cards, put them in back. So it fixes your land. You only want to pick this when you have a huge graveyard strategy. Another 2/2 for 2 we could definitely take. But I like the Snowhorn Rider. It actually does trigger off the Tamir Ascendancy. It does work with our banner strategy. But at this point, I don't even know if we want to go into banner strategy. If we just want to go into a tempo strategy. I think I am going to go into tempo. So the Singing Bell Strike is the best card to pick here. And we have a Quiet Contemplation. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, pay 1. This card is nutty good. We have a Jeskai Charm, which is very good as well. Creature controls him +1/+1 lifelink. Put a creature on top of his library. I don't know if we can, again, splash for white. I wishing we could have and went into... But we want green. And red is going to be a very subtle splash. There's also an Arrow Storm. I don't know if I can... I might take an Arrow Storm over a Quiet Contemplation. Card is very good, but Arrow Storm is the burn that we actually do want. There's another banner that I kind of want to take, but I'll just take an Arrow Storm, and we're definitely going to go into a tempo deck. So kind of disappointed that I'm not in my Tamir Ascendancy. We're still going to play it, though, as Haste is very deadly. An Archer's okay. The Teller's okay. At this point, delving for 3 cards is Treasure Cruise might be the better play. Embodiment of Spring, this helps us actually delve. Cancel's fine. I think at this point we're just going to take the Fixing with the Swift Clotter Cliffs. So we'll see how this tempo deck kind of works. It's kind of awkward. I don't know if Wooly Loxton will actually see play now. And we're not going to get, again, much value out of our Temur Ascendancy. But yeah, it's still worth. I still think it's worth playing just for creatures you control have haste. So we have a regenerate dude. He's not actually bad. A 1-mana regenerate. I might just take the cancel again. It's a tempo card, and we're heavy into blue. So Defiant Strike's probably better than a Kintree Warden. I don't have a 1-drop, but yes, the Wetland did come back. I think at this point we might actually play them. And the Tusk Colossus came back as well. Really wishing that now that I would have gone blue, red, white, splash, and then just cut out this green, because then we would have had some pretty sweet cards with like Ride Down and a Jeskai Charm. But so far, this deck is still pretty good. Just triple Jeskai Wind Scouts are pretty amazing. So there's another Jeskai Wind Scout. Let's see, Ultra Brute whenever the permanent enters the battlefield. You can mill them. I don't think we're even going to try for a mill strategy. Another Highland Game. The Hair of the Wilds is okay. It's a 2/2 Death Toucher for 2. A Solte Flare is pretty good too. This just stabilizes you so well. Unfortunately, that doesn't get us over the top of as far as the Temur Ascendancy. Bring Lows is very powerful. It's just removal. But I think that we're going to stick with our plan here and take another Wind Scout. And we'll just go for that tempo and just try to go over top of them with the Flyers. Now the problem is we're very weak against a Warrior strategy though, because we won't have much to... Really, I mean, the Highland Games will be great to kind of put us ahead in life total. But we still need, this deck still needs a little bit of help, whether it be more Singing Bell Strikes. And there it is, there's one right there, Singing Bell Strikes. There's Hardened Scale, doesn't really work for the strategy we're going. Neither does Secret Plans. Bitter Revelations is very good card, but... I think we might actually take the Arrow Storm. I think it's going to be a little more powerful than a Singing Bell Strike. And hopefully somehow by the miracles of the cons, we get back the Singing Bell Strike. But, I mean, the Prowess is a pretty good strategy. This is not either put 2+1 counters on a target creature on tap it. Dragon Scale Boon, if this wheels, will be nice as well. But Arrow Storm's just really good. So I'm going to take the Arrow Storm. 5 damage spell in Seal that it can actually be to a creature is very powerful. Alright, so there's another Sage. Sage is pretty good about getting back. Let's see, Winter Flame deals 2 damage to target creature, tap target creature. That's very powerful in a tempo strategy. 2 damage to one, tap another one. Another Outlast Trample, that card's not bad. The Scout the Boulders isn't bad when you're actually trying to find... This works so good with Delve. And even a Hordling Outburst, put 3/1 Goblin creature tokens isn't... These are all very solid picks. I think Winter Flame is a bit better with what we're trying to do than a Hordling Outburst. I mean, the Hordling Outburst does put our Jeskai Wind Scouts up to 3/2s until end of turn and puts in some blockers, but again, Winter Flame's better. So Act of Treason's not bad, actually. Neither is Swift Kicked at this point. Trap Essence, I've never liked this card. It counters target creature spell, put 2+1 counters. It's better than a Cancel. I don't know, I actually kind of like Cancel better because the mana cost on this is very hard. I might just take a Thornwood Falls. We do need to start getting fixing, but Crippling Chill, Act of Treason, Crippling Chill, and another Incremental Growth are very good. I don't think that we want more Incremental Growth at this point, as our curve is getting quite costly if we go into another one. And Crippling Chill is just amazing. Cantrip card. Pumps up our dudes. Alright, so we have a Quiet Contemplation. I do want one in this point. But a flying 3/1 for 4 mana. Hexproof. You can get Hexproof. Nah, I don't think it quite makes the cut over a Quiet Contemplation. This card is just really powerful. We don't want this played against us for sure. Sultai banner, we might want another banner at this point. It does allow us to splash into black if we needed to for any reason. It does, again, you want to look at this as this just helps cast our green and our blue cards. So I still think the Sultai banner is the right pick here. Awaken the Bear is fine. Plus 3+3 and Trample is exactly kind of what we want to be doing with our unblockable type stuff. But I think we do want at least one more banner, and that's a great banner to grab into. Terminating Voice isn't bad. It gets put stuff in the graveyard. Hexproof for S, I don't know how well this will be. An Alpine Grizzly actually might not be a bad pick in here. It's aggressive in a tempo type deck, and I think we'll end up playing it. And it actually does get our Temur Ascendancy. I'd love to find a few more Bell Strikes. This Blinding Spray is not bad at all. Neither is the Embodiment of Spring. Glacial Stalker, Feed the Clans, not very good. I'm going to take this Blinding Spray. Yeah, I do think I take the Blinding Spray. This draws us a card, though, and puts stuff in the graveyard that we don't want. Helps us with our Delve, but I'm going to take the Blinding Spray. Highland Game, this is actually awesome to pick up another one. And the Dragon, the Swinging... Ooh, again, this is tough. Untapping and put 2+1/+1 counters on our guy, but Singing Bell Strike just locks down our opponent. It's exactly what you want in a tempo deck. Briber's Purse is actually really good too, but Singing Bell Strike's great. We have 3 of them. We're definitely just going to go a little blue, maybe just blue-red, very splash, or blue-white, very, 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 very subtle splash. The red. Blue-green, excuse me. And then, see, another Scout the Boulders helps us get what we need. This Leaping Master, if we have to do another 2/2 for 2. I just think, well, this Sage actually is better than nothing. I'd love to splash into white for a few things. Like, Jeskai Student's not bad. Killshot's not bad. Defiant Strike is amazing. Defiant Strike and Jeskai Wind Scout are great, 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 great combos. This is just so good. It gets Prowess off, and you get a draw card, and you get a card in the graveyard to help with Delve. Defiant Strike's amazing, amazing little common. I guess just the Tusk Colossadon. Another cancel. Have a great little tempo deck going. And an island. So I like what we have here. I do. I really like this deck. So we're going to start building here. Defiant Strike is not going to quite make the cut, neither is Sage. We have 2 banners to help with our fixing. We have... Yeah, we have nice little deck here. I'm going to take away the big cards. I think we do just keep Treasure Cruise. This card, drawing 3 cards and delving. We don't need anything else in our graveyard. Cancels do seem very, 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 very powerful in this deck. Temur Ascendancy is actually looking weaker. Do I need to give all my stuff haste? I don't think Temur Ascendancy needs to. It works with Ash Cloud Phoenix, and it actually has a nice curve with Ash Cloud Phoenix, but I don't think that it's going to quite make the cut. Skullkin seems good. The banners, you know what? I might not even need the banners at this point. The cool thing about banners is they do help the Wind Scouts, and I think just running a few of them is good. We have a pretty aggressive curve. We have 1 counter target spell with the Mind Sweep. We have Force the Way. Force the Way is still fine. It's still okay. I still think bouncing a creature and pumping up our guys are great. I want all these early drops. I think it's going to be the... Yeah, an Alpine Grizzly can go. Winter Flame's fine. Do you know what? We might actually just end up cutting the green and going red. But how much value do we put on incremental growth? I just think it's a blowout. I think it's a great card, but we really need to get these... Yeah, I like Cancel. I just like the way that Cancel curves. So maybe we do just cut out the green. But then we cut out the Highland Games, and we need those. Those are part of our strategy of tempoing them. Difficult decisions here. Blinding Spray, I think, can be a sideboard card. We still want the Arrow Storms. Now I think we need these banners to help find our... You know what? I really do think that cutting out the green is the right play. Even though we do have Wooded Foothills. Yeah, because I think that we're fine with what we have. And now we don't need the banners. And now we can add lands here. We are low on creatures, though, so... And we can't really add anything else in. I mean, that does hurt us by taking down the Highland Games, but we have a bunch of 2/1s. We have the Jeskai Wind Scout, so it's basically just put out a Wind Scout and then just try to tempo them out through cancels and whatnot. Yeah, I think this is fine. We're going to add basic lands here. That'd put us at 17 lands, which I think is perfect for a tempo deck. Where we want to hit our cancels. I'm going to try this. I think it seems very, very Delver-like with the Jeskai Wind Scout and then just canceling everything and Quiet Contemplation. So I'm going to try this. I don't know how well it's going to work. Oh, geez. Now we're going to have MTGO decide to take a big, giant poop on us. Of course, during pre-release, it's got to do this garbage. So, or sorry, an unexpected error occurred with your deck submission. Screw you, MTGO. Anyway, we'll hurry in and log back in here and see if we can get this. Alright, so we're back. It actually did submit out to the login, log out. And I thought I'd put in a Wooded Foothill just to thin the deck and add another Delve card. I think that's worth a life. I think it's fine to put in here. And pretty much, yep, this is fine. I guess it's disappointing we couldn't go Timur Syndicate, but you saw a lot of, on this drive, saw a lot of open strategies. I am absolutely loving Khan's draft. I did not particularly like Concealed. It was just all over the place. You had just like, it didn't feel like any deck was complete in Concealed. It was people trying to shove in bombs from colors that didn't quite work, but it was still worth it because, or like for me, example, one of my pre-releases, I had like a really good 3-color strategy, but on playables with the 3 colors, I was still lower than 23 playables. And so I had to either put in just garbage, absolute garbage cards that I didn't want to use, or splash for another 4th color. But then splashing for another 4th color meant I had to put in like some banners, or it's just very awkward. And draft though seems a lot more streamlined, just where you can get a strategy that you want and stick with it. So I could have gone a very good white-red black strategy, Mardu strategy. We could have gone a splash for white and had some like cool kill shots and defiant strikes, and then had the Jeskai Charm, and then we have a Jeskai Student here. But at this point, I definitely can't splash white just for 3 colors. So I'm definitely happy with my picks. So 4 Jeskai Wind Scouts is pretty good. 3 Singing Bell Strikes. This is creature removal. It taps it and it doesn't untap for 2 mana, and then it can untap it for 6 mana. And then cards like Force of Way to help our tempo. We have just Wetlands Sandbars, which are pretty decent. 2/1s for 2 mana. These have worked in every format known to man. Call these bears. So little elk that could is going to help us get some early tempo, and then we just like cancel. So like scenarios that they go first turn, tap, or first turn land, second turn, put in play a land that taps. They won't have a turn 2. Then you can get in with the Wetland Sandbar, and then we have the cancels and the Mind Swipes and whatnot up, and then hopefully can just tempo them out. And then a Jeskai Wind Scout comes out, Singing Bell Strikes, etc., etc., etc. We delver them down. Anyway, hopefully in a minute we'll have a match here. This is Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.